Hi friends, Stevie here. Welcome to Crouching Crow Conditioning Loop. This is a very short sequence that we'll do multiple times fairly quickly to play with the idea of jumping, hopping, and crow. It involves some rolling, it involves a strap and a nice, dense, soft mat that's still stable for putting our hands down. We'll be doing kind of crouching downward dog positions as well as rolling into like a little boat pose and leaning into crow. You do not have to be able to do crow to do this class. In fact, I developed it by request for somebody who really wants to condition crow, but it feels like too regimented to be doing all these different drills and things, and they want it to be this almost cardiovascular conditioning class where they have the opportunity to play with crow, but they don't have to do it. And so it kind of takes away some of the pressure. I find that rolling around generally makes things feel more playful to me. And there'll just be a crow lean as well as the idea of putting weight into the hands and being in that little curled up position the whole time. So that is available for you. We will do a quick warm up before getting into the flow, which will then start to pick up the pace quickly. We'll play with it, and of course you'll have the opportunity to always pause the video and add more rounds if you'd like, or less. But again, you'll want a strap, and we're not actually going to be looping the straps. It doesn't have to be a strap. It could be something like a scarf or a shoelace or anything that's kind of long, a tie. Anything will work. We're just going to be pulling on it about shoulder distance apart and putting it in our hip crease. So do make sure it's somewhat soft. We will be rolling around the mat and also putting our hands on it and jumping back and forth. So if you want to put a towel or a blanket, that's fine. Just know that it kind of might get shifted under your feet. Gather whatever you'd like, and I'll meet you on the mat.
This practice is brought to you by Aloha Yoga, a cork-powered mat and accessory company with a focus on enhanced grip for confident and creative movement. No towel, no problem. Yaloha offers the ability to move freely without fear of slipping, even in your sweatiest practice, all while embracing artistic expression through their unique mat designs. Check out the video caption for a link to view their products, or visit our Grow Together page to learn more about why Authentic Movements continues to choose Yaloha.
As I said, we will do a very quick warm-up just because there is a lot of crouching in little position here, and I find that it can be challenging if we don't necessarily do something beforehand. Take your strap. I folded mine in half just because it's long, and put your hands where it's just a little bit more than hip distance. So I like to just be able to clear my hips with my hands. It's not super important. Come towards the top of your mat and set up your feet for a deep squat position. For me, that's about wider than hip distance and slightly turned out. Bring your strap to your hip crease. So right where if you hinge back, that's where you'll feel kind of your hips fold. Bring your strap there. That means I have to bend my elbows and just pull gently on the strap, elbows out to the side. Slight bend in the knees. As you reach your strap forward, hinge at the hips, let yourself bend forward with a long spine. Stretch and reach the strap and send the weight into the heels. Slower than you'd like, push through your heels, bring the strap back to your hip crease. Press it into your hips, pull your hands apart. Reach your strap out in front of you. Send your weight back into your heels. Press through your heels, bring your strap to your hip crease. Again, like that. Reach it forward. Bring the strap to your hip crease. All right, we'll change it up this time. Reach it forward. Reach, reach, reach. Bring the strap to your hip crease. And this time, as you hinge forward, keep the strap in your hip crease so you actually pinch it with your hips. When you feel like you've gotten low enough where you can let go, then stretch your hands forward. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Go a little bit lower. Sink your hips a little bit lower, a little bit lower. If at any point you need to take your hands down, be my guest. A little bit lower, a little bit lower, all the way down to something that resembles Malasana. Now your heels can come up like this, or you can have your heels flat. You choose. You're still pinching your strap. Roll through your wrists. If your sit bones are on the floor, that's fine. Mine are hovering for now. And when you're ready, do lower your sit bones to the ground, even if that means taking your hands behind you to assist. I keep getting bit by mosquitoes. In your little crouching position, widen your knees, take your arms inside of your legs, and press your legs into your arms. Extend your palms forward like you're pressing into the floor. Oh, hey, crow pose. Squeeze your hands into fists. Open them wide. Squeeze. Open. squeeze, open, squeeze, open. Start to open and close as quickly as you can, opening all the way and closing all the way. Try to keep the extension of the wrists, which I just immediately lost, and also try to keep the knees pushing into the triceps and the triceps pushing into the knees. Keep going. A little bit faster. Just warming up some of the muscles that connect down from the forearm into the wrists and the fingers. They work hard for us in crow. Keep going. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your hands into fists. Roll through your wrists. Oh, I know your forearms might feel heated. Press your arms into your legs and your legs into your arms. See if you can hover your right foot and release. Can you hover your left foot and release? Maybe you can shift back onto your toes and even hover both feet. If you're like, what, that does not work for me, adjust where your knees are on your arms. If your knees are down towards your elbows and you're hovering, can you vacuum your knees towards your armpits? And you can do that a few times for fun, like let them slide down to your elbows and then vacuum your knees up towards your armpit. Down, vacuum, down, vacuum. Ooh, hip flexor squeeze there. Down, vacuum, down, vacuum. One more, down, vacuum. Ugh. Put your feet down. And the strap is probably still in your hip crease. Can you leave it there while you do a few rock and rolls on the back body, trying to really round through the spine? Rounding through the spine is super helpful for crow as you go back and forth here on your space. What would it feel like if maybe you try to stop the roll right before your feet hit the ground? So they're hovering. And if that didn't work, try again. Right before your feet hit the ground. Maybe you try to do that without your hands, still holding the strap. It's kind of like a boat pose, right? We're in a little rounded position, but we could pretend that this is boat pose. Now, trying to keep the strap. Can you rock a little bit harder and bring your feet back to the ground? What would it take to rock so hard that we could get our hands on the ground? And for you, that might mean taking your hand behind you. It might mean adjusting where your feet are. Doesn't matter. What would it take for you to explore? Get a big rock and come all the way up, maybe lifting your heels to put your hands down on the ground. Meet me here. Yes, you probably still have the strap in your hip crease. With your hands on the floor, grip with your fingers, try to make a fist through the floor. Slight bend in your elbows until they touch your knees. Press your knees into your elbows, your elbow into your knees. This isn't crow, right? Our butt's way down, and that's fine. What would it feel like just to shift the weight forward until you feel more weight in your fingers? And then back. Shift forward and back. At least a small bend in the elbows. Grip with your fingers. Shift forward and back. Now, without thinking about it too much, push the weight into your hands, come forward to your fingers, and keeping the little squat, hop your feet back into like a little crouchy down dog. If you lost your strap, that's okay. Just put it back. It doesn't have to be a big down dog. It can be a little one. Grip with your fingers, look forward, and we're just going to do that again. Now, you do not have to hop all the way up to your hands. You could take like little crunchy hops, trying to keep your strap, and then take them back. Or you could take one big hop up and one big hop back. One big hop up and one big hop back. The next time you hop up, pause there, move your hands to your strap, and come to a stand. Take your strap out of your hip crease and stand up. Stretch your hips out, right? Because that kind of was a long time in a crouchy position because that's what we're trying to do. Okay, that was our warm-up. We're now going to string it all together, and we're going to start fairly quickly, but we'll pick up the pace a little bit. We're meant to be just in a little ball position this time and playing with the idea of curling and coiling. That's crouching crow. If you drop your strap at any time, just put it back in. If you hate your strap, you can throw it off to the side and not worry about using it. There will be opportunity to kind of lean into that thing that looks a little bit like crow pose. You can make it look more like crow pose. You can even hover your feet off the ground. That's totally up to you. There's also the opportunity to roll up, plant the hands, and jump back to your crouchy down dog. You can do just what we did in the warm-up, or you can almost come into a crow and then jump from that little crow to a downward facing dog. I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through slowly for the first round. Strap about hip distance apart, pulling a little bit more than hip distance. Set up your feet for that deep squat because we will be going all the way to a seat and rocking, okay? The strap at your hip crease, pause. Get yourself ready, elbows out. Squat, reaching the strap out in front of you. Bring the strap to your hip crease. This time, as you squat, keep the strap there, pull on it until you can release with your hands. Lower your sit bones. You're going to rock and roll all the way to catch that little boat. So rock and roll, rock up, try to pause before your feet hit the ground. Great. Now, we'll rock and roll all the way up to a crow lean. It doesn't have to look like a crow. You're just trying to get your hands in front and shift the weight into the fingers. You can put your knees on your elbows or by your armpits. That's up to you. Or you can just be squatty. What do I mean? Rock, roll forward. Put your hands down, put your legs somehow on your arms, and shift the weight into your hands. Sure, you can pick up one foot, you could pick up the other foot, you could pick up both feet, you can also be down here and look like this. It doesn't matter. Just into a crouchy position, put weight into your hands. Now, we're going to rock and roll back again, and this time as you rock forward, you'll put the hands down and jump back to that squatty down dog. So sit back down, rock, get the big momentum again, rock forward, plant the hands, and jump back, squatty dog. And I just jumped back. You could see how you could almost come to like a little crow first, right? And then you could jump back from there. One hop up and then back, trying to keep the strap here. So you got to keep the really big bend in the knees out wide towards your armpits. Hop up, maybe taking one jump, maybe taking two, and hop back. This time we'll hop up. Hands are behind the wrists, even if it takes a few jumps to get there. Bring your hands up to the strap. Come to a stand. Squeeze your butt and press your hips forward because that was a lot of squat. Okay, that's just a little flow. We're just going to start doing that loop a few times, yeah? And if you get lost, just jump back in when you're ready. All right. Strap at the hips. Squat and reach. Strap at the hips. Keep it there. Hinge, roll to a boat. Boat catch. Here's our roll to our crow lean. Big roll, crow lean. Doesn't have to lift the feet off the floor. Big roll all the way back to squatty dog. Big roll. Whoa, that was a really big roll. Squatty dog. One hop up, boom. One hop back, boom. One hop up, bam. Take your hands to the strap. Come to a stand. Squeeze your butt. Oh, hey, we're here again. See, that was pretty fast. Let's do it again. Hands on the strap. Squat and reach. Strap to the hip crease. Hinge at the hips. Keep the strap there. Rock to the little boat. Zoom. Boat hold. Here's our big rock to crow lean. Big rock, crow lean. Doesn't have to be crow. Big rock all the way back to squatty dog. Maybe you jump from something that resembles a little crow pose. Crow pose, jump, squatty dog. Ooh, that was hard. Hop up, hop back. Hop up, hands to the strap, come to a stand, squeeze your butt. Again, squat and reach. Strap to your hips. Hinge, rock and roll to the little boat. Little boat, rock and roll to your leaning crow. Your legs are powerful. Rock and roll to your squatty dog. Hop forward, hop back, hop forward. Trust your hands. Hands to your strap, come to a stand. Squeeze your butt. Again, reach forward, squat. Strap to your hips. Hinge, clamp the strap, rock and roll, catch your boat. Boat. Rock and roll, leaning crow. Big rock, leaning crow. Rock and roll, squatty dog. From your squatty dog, hop up right away. Hop back. Try not to think about it. Hop up. Hands to your strap, come to a stand, squeeze your butt. Squat. Strap to your hips. Keep the strap there, rock and roll, little boat. Rock and roll, leaning crow. Rock and roll, squatty dog. Told you it would be like cardio. Hop forward. Hop back. Hop forward. Grab the strap one more time, y'all. Squat, reach forward. Strap to your hips. Keep the strap, rock and roll, catch your boat. Leaning crow. Squatty dog. Hop forward. Hop back. Hop forward. Grab the strap. Come to a stand. Squeeze your butt. Okay. Obviously, you could do more of those. If you're like, no, that was enough cardio for me. Maybe just take the strap overhead. And play with the idea of kind of stretching your arms in different directions, bending your elbows so they come behind your head. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Outside pollen is getting me. I also like to do a twist with the strap in my hands. So that's just a playful way to kind of toy with some of these arm balances. And I find that taking away the pressure of doing the actual arm balance, if that is part of the scary part for you, can be really helpful. And of course, you could rework this with some twists for a side crow. You could rework it with more hip mobility for something like firefly, some more abduction out to the side, and some straddle work for firefly. And it's a fun way to create these mini pockets that we can do regularly in our practice until the shape becomes familiar in our body. And perhaps then we can start toying with some of the little extra bits and cues and pieces to help us get there. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you had fun rocking and rolling in your crouching crow, and I'll see you again soon.